Peace to the family. It's Brother Polight. We're here for another installment of wealth building. It's all about wealth building. And today, the question at hand today is this. Do you live where you work, or do you work where you live? Again, it's fundamental that when we have these discussions or monologues, or when I go into these deliberations, to share newly found perspectives. It's always about building. That's the imagery I want to have in your mind whenever it deals with the coaching process. Always about building. Remember, you go to brotherpolight45@gmail.com when you're interested in any of the mentorship and or consultations. Consultations are $200 an hour or $300 in person. And mentorship obviously costs more, but it pays. But that's when I coach you 2 months on in or 3 months on in, depending on what program you choose. But it's always about building. So the question at hand right now, my people, the question at hand is, do you live where you work? Do you live where you work? Or do you work where you live? What is the answer? Do you live where you work, or do you work where you live? I'm giving you some time to think about it, because it sounds like the same thing. But then we also got to deal with grammar and deal with subject and predicate. And after we establish the necessity of understanding what subject and predicate is, because I'm not here to do no English course with you right now, but the reason why we need to understand subject and predicate as far as this question is concerned is so we can really establish how to generate more revenue. So, share this video. It's about to go down. Do you live where you work, or do you work where you live? Very important question, because the answer is going to empower us with the ability to generate more wealth just by spending money. We're going to make money by spending money. And it's hard to say we're going to make money by spending money, but let's say this. We'll have more money by spending money by taking the time out to control the narrative. You have to control the narrative. That's what this is about. It's always about controlling the narrative. Conversation is everything when it comes to business. 95% of business is conversation. 95% of success is based on conversation. So when it comes to spending money or making money, it's all about conversation. And because they stripped us of a thorough knowledge of self, and in turn, one of the prerequisite steps to create dissension in our community was to strip us of our language, take away our language. So we never really recovered since then and speaking their language. And so many of us fail to realize the expedience of not only understanding the language in which we speak, but realizing how important it is to communicate our thoughts and our strategies in articulate fashion to our better advantage. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. You know, I have a person here that's constantly asking me, why do I pay taxes and somebody else in the community doesn't? First of all, I didn't know you was in someone's personal life enough to know that they're not paying taxes. Secondly, there's something called a tax bracket. I'm gonna digress just to answer a question in the chat room. What's the brother's name? Let's see. Negus Aboriginal. Okay, and a bunch of other names affixed to it. For the brother Negus, who's constantly on everything I'm doing, asking me, why do I pay taxes, but he knows another brother in the community doesn't. I don't know how much into his personal bookkeeping. I don't know if you're his accountant to know if he's not paying taxes. But understand this. I'm in a different tax bracket. So first thing we gotta understand is, what is a tax bracket? Secondly, I pay taxes because I also make money off of paying for people's taxes. So I pay taxes to make a profit. I'll stop there because that's not what this conversation is about. I just wanted to answer the question. Why do I pay taxes? One of the number one reasons why I pay taxes. One of the main reasons I like to pay taxes is because I make a profit off of paying taxes. It's one of the reasons why I pay taxes, because I make a profit off of it. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so I don't know why that's so important for this brother to constantly ask me, why do I pay taxes? And he knows another brother in the community who teaches doesn't. I don't know if you deal with that brother's bookkeeping, but I won't take your word for it. Well, I'll tell you this, if you're paying taxes in some shape, form, or fashion on something. But that's neither here or there. We're going to get back to the conversation at hand. Be sure to share this video, people, because I want people to get the information to be empowered. Again, you can go to brotherpolight45@gmail.com if you're interested in my consulting and or mentorship. Now, let's get back to it. Do you live where you work, or do you work where you live? The answer to this should be, in most cases pertaining to our people, is you work where you live. So again, I ask you, do you live where you work, or do you work where you live? And I'm telling you that your answer should be, you work where you live. Why is this so very important? This is when you share this video. This is when you empower your friends and family. So whether they buy a book, a DVD, a CD, doesn't matter. At least they have this information. They can do something with it. Void of me or with me, it doesn't matter. So long as they have the information. Do you live where you work, or do you work where you live? I am telling you that you need to establish that you work where you live. Now let's go into what a house is. Because we got to find out how to make this money, right? But let's go into what a household is. In economics, a household is a domestic dwelling that's consistent of 3 generations. And here it is already. We getting smacked in our face. 3 generations being grandparents, their children, and their children's children. So this means that the youngest of offspring are able to watch their parents be disciplined, be educated, and be edified by their parents. So first of all, we got to get back into that paradigm. Because I know we get taught, yo, move out your family house as soon as possible. And I understand why. But under normal circumstances in economics, a household is consistent with 3 generations. At some point or the other, the family should bear witness to 3 generations inhabiting such an abode. But that's just some excess material. We'll talk about that another day, and why in economics that would even be defined as such. We're going to go back to, are you living where you work, or do you work where you live? Do you live where you work, or do you work where you live? Well, let's go into what a house is, or home is. A home is a place that you live in, void or free of the strain of obligation as it relates to the most immediate needs. As far as food, clothing, and shelter is concerned, paying your light, your gas, paying for your car. A home is a place that you are not working check to check. If you're working from check to check, you don't have a home. And this information can save you, so I want you to walk with me. If you're working check to check, or if you're just barely getting by, you barely have money to save month to month, if you're dissatisfied with the amount of money you're making, and you're not exactly above the poverty line, you don't have a home. I don't care if you're paying rent. It doesn't matter. I don't want to say I don't care. It doesn't matter if you're paying rent. It doesn't matter if you have a mortgage and you can handle it, but you got a few dollars left over. You don't have a home if you're struggling. You don't have a home if you're living check to check. You don't have a home if you still have just a little bit of money after all your expenses are paid. You don't have a home. These are facts. These are absolute facts. I want you to walk with me, because these are facts. And you might be saying, man, what the hell you mean? I don't have a home. I live here. But remember, I asked you, do you live where you work or do you work where you live? This is when you share the video. This is economics here. You don't have a home if you're strapped for cash. You don't have a home if you're under the gun. You don't have a home if you're uncomfortable living life day to day. Home is for entrepreneurs. And maybe we should title this video that as well. Home is for entrepreneurs and or businessmen and women who are living above the wealth line. Now we know wealth begins at $150,000 a year for an individual, and for a family of 4, poverty begins at $32,000 a year. And we know that poverty begins at about $15,000 a year for an individual. So now we have to factor all this information in. Poverty begins at $15,000 a year for an individual, $32,000 a year for a family of 4, and wealth begins at $150,000 a year, which only 5% of Americans exist at. So only 5% of Americans exist on the wealth line of $150,000 a year, and even lesser are African American or black people. Keep all these things in mind. So this would suggest to us, many of us are out of house and home, based on the perspective that I'm bringing forth to you. Now let's go back to it, and I'll repeat what I say on purpose for educational purposes, so people can regurgitate what I say or share it without misconstruing any of the points. Okay? So that's how we're gonna do that. So, do you live where you work, or do you work where you live? Key questions. And I'm telling you that you work where you live. And the reason why you work where you live is because if you are living check by check, if you are not comfortable with how much funds you have left over after you pay all your bills, if your income to expense ratio is disproportionate, if the tow truck driver is over here scheming on you for whatever reason, then you don't have a home. Like I said, a home is for entrepreneurs that are successful. Home is for successful employees that exist above the wealth line, whose income to expense ratio isn't disproportionate. Now watch this. Watch this right here. This is how we're gonna get into the nitty gritty, or the creme de la creme. This is how we're gonna really get to it. So walk with me. This is how we're gonna get to it. So now, what I'm saying to you is this. You're probably paying your rent or your mortgage. Your rent or your mortgage is probably $1,500, $2,000 a month, $800, $750, I don't know. I'm sure you got a light bill, gas bill, cable bill, internet. Some of those things are in packages sold to you at a time. You might have sewage, property taxes, and so forth and so on that you have to pay, depending on what part of the rat race you exist in. And so, if you know personally you're not in your dream home or your dream disposition, and what I mean by that is, if you can honestly say, you know what, I'm not living in the house that I like to live in, honestly. Or if I ask you if you could live somewhere other than where you live at now, and it's way better than where you live at now, would you go there and would you live there? Probably say yeah. If I said, would you live in, is there another state that you would like to live in that has a real beautiful neighborhood or environment other than where you at now? You'd probably say yeah. And if your answer is yeah, then the reality is you work where you live. You don't live where you work. And the reason why that narrative is so very important, because that narrative can be the difference in how much money you save year to year on your utilities, on your car note, on your gas. That is the difference. You are a white man in America. Come on, fam. Don't ask a black man y'all put in slavery for bread. I can't do it all the time. Sometimes I do it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but today ain't the day. I ain't gonna do that. Stop that. Teaching my people, you over here. Teach my people about wealth and use white man in white America. We only make up less than 14% of the population. And inside that 14%, very few of us make up the 5% that's above the wealth line. So it's hard for me to give a begging white male in America some of my coins. Forgive me, people, though. I'm not saying don't, because sometimes I do give any type of homeless person money. But then there's other days I just feel a certain way, because what if by the time I pass them, there's a brother that needs the money, and I done gave out the money I'm giving away for the day. Now the brother can't eat in white America. So I'm in a whole different space with that. But pardon me if any of that was negative. I don't want to spew no negativity while I'm on the live stream. It's just something I was thinking out loud. But now we're going to go back to what I'm talking about. Let's go back to what I'm talking about. Let's really put this thing into perspective. All right. Now that you're walking with me, watch this. So you set up a trust. This is your business. And what you're simply saying is, I'm not living somewhere because this is idealistically where I want to live and how I want to live. I'm living here because I have a occupation. I'm not even going to call that occupation. I have an opportunity that has been presented to me in the form of income that hasn't been presented to me in other places, in which, based on the recompense, or based on your compensation, based on your check, you could afford to live not too far away from the place that is funding your future endeavors. And your goal is, because you got your trust set up, your business, this is your business, because you got your trust set up, you're saying, you know what, I have a place that I go to provide a service in which they compensate me for, and I allocate some of those revenue streams into the vision of my company. That is whatever I have left over. And then after that, I just have to fund my most immediate needs, like food, clothing, and shelter, for the time being, while I stay in close proximity to the place that will compensate me for the services rendered. And then you may say, man, Polight, you just got a job somewhere, but I'm telling you, it's all in the narrative. So now that I have a trust set up, and the vision of my trust is to eventually employ other people one day. I plan to employ other people. Provided the vision of this trust comes to fruition, I'll be able to employ other people. Now that this has been laid out in the trust, pretty much a business proposal in one sense, an executive summary in another, depending if you've been in business a couple years prior, that helps. But at the very least, a mission statement. And so now you have the vision of the trust. You have your mission statement. You have your projections, where you expect to be inside of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You're the trustee. And the goal of the trustee is to see to it that the trust never accumulates negative assets value. The goal of the trustee is to see to it that the trust never accumulates negative asset value. Walk with me, because here is where the money is being saved that is being made. And it's an oxymoron, because you'll see as I keep building. So now you got a trust. You set up your business trust, right? You got your trust certificate, your IRS confirmation forms. You got your 12 to 15 page chassis. You got all of that. You go to the bank, you do your 30, 45 minutes. You got it notarized. They set up your business trust checkers account. You good money. This is deeper than your LLC ambitions and your S-Corps. Now that you got this trust set up, you're saying to yourself, essentially, this is how we're going to deal with this. I like to walk, man. When I'm talking, I be walking. So I just use stream as an opportunity to get a necessary walk on. Just answering some stuff that people write. Thank you, brother John Wick, for appreciating what I'm contributing. Yep, this is a long walk on a short path. So now that I have the trust set up, walk with me, family. Now that you have a business trust set up, right? And you've established the fact that you don't live where you work where you live. So this means that technically, that place that you was calling a home is really an extension of your office. It's a work site. It's your workplace. Workplaces can have showers. Workplaces can have couches. You can make your workplace as comfortable as possible or as conducive as it need be for you to feel comfortable enough to work day to day. You need a place where you can eat. You don't always want to go somewhere to eat. So because your work is X amount of miles away, you have an abode that you're located at as an extension of that which you do. Or two, that thing that you call a home is really your office. And when you're done being compensated for services you render for another company, you come back and you live in your office. And because you live in your office, you can now write off what your rent and what your mortgage is. So I don't care. Oh, I'm not going to say I don't care. Pardon the words. I don't know where it's coming from. Your mortgage can be $1,600 a month. But because you follow this business archetype or model, you can bring your mortgage down to $1,000. You can take $600 off of that. Sometimes even more. Month to month. Your rent might be $800. You probably can get your rent down to $400. I don't care how much you dislike me. The information is true. If only people took the time out to value what I teach. You may not like my religious views. You may not like my polygynous relationship. But damn it, you gotta love my economic prowess. Come on now. Come on now. Look at this. This is why I make sure I live where I live, man. This is why I make sure I do what I do. Look at that. This is why I do what I do. This is why I gotta live where I live. Because I just love the inspiration. I love the motivation. And this is free information. Thank you, Sean Lowski. Look at this, man. I take a walk and just build and hopefully share something you didn't know you could use to your advantage. That's what I'm about. I just walk and I build. That's all it's about, building, creating, constructing. So now that you got your trust, I'm telling you, stop saying you live there, that's your house. Start calling that place your corporate dwelling. So instead of it being your domestic dwelling, it's your corporate dwelling. Now you walk with me, walk with me, walk with me. Hold my hand. Hold my hand, people. It is no longer your domestic dwelling. It is now your corporate dwelling. Because you don't live where you work. You're not over there saying, man, this is just my dream house. I always wanted to live in this neighborhood. I love these trees. You're not saying that. You're saying, I'm here by circumstance because it just so happens I can get compensated for services I render here, and the opportunity hasn't afforded itself to me anywhere else in America at this particular moment. So right now, I'm over here. Right now, I'm over here because it behooves me to stay here and have a place that I can sleep while I fund this mission I have, fund this trust that I have. So yeah, people want to say you work for somebody else. No, you're rendering services and being compensated for it. You know, what you're going to do is turn your income from you working for somebody else into a private contracting stipulation. Because you're providing a service as an individual. You're not being paid in a form of monies that you have to break up when you get it and give it to several other people. They are giving you a check personally. So it's still a private contract. You're private contracting. You're conducting a private contract by working for somebody else. You got to change the verbiage. And the reason why you can say that is because you have a trust set up and you have a corporate dwelling instead of a domestic dwelling. If you had a domestic dwelling, then you're just getting a check because you're an employee. But because you got your trust, you are rendering services of your own free will and accord, right? You're rendering these services to another company because they need you personally.
We're being vapored by the governors. That's why the heat's so hot, okay? We need to stop these people, man. We need Mexico, Russia, everybody else to breathe together.
I hear you. I hope y'all walking with me, man. That's another conversation because the interpretation of your income can make you more money. The interpretation of your income can make you more money. You're providing a service for somebody. Yo, I gotta go back to work. I got a job. Yeah, I'm an employee. Man, stop that talk. The words you're using are not only institutionalizing you in many senses to the form of slavery, but your interpolation or the way you present your day-to-day working disposition is holding you back. You've been hired to provide a service as an individual. And no matter how many other individuals may be rendering the same service, you are just one of few that are able to articulate at best what you do to your better advantage so that you can be empowered economically. So stop saying, yo, I'm going to work, I got this job, I'm an employee. Now, you work for yourself and you're rendering services in individual capacity to fund future goals and endeavors for your company. See, so long as you got that company in place, you're no longer the traditional employee. Once you got that company in place, and once you got a corporate dwelling as opposed to a domestic dwelling, the circumstance around the manner in which you file taxes and generate income is now subject to a new interpretation that empowers you with the ability to generate more revenue. And this is why I say certain things over and over, because it's a different perspective. And I want people to get it. So I'll say things differently. And I'll say it over and over, just slightly different, in hopes that it's said to you the way that you understand or you're comfortable with. Walking with me? I hope y'all walking with me, man. I'm just looking at the comments here. Right. Okay, so I just want y'all to understand this. Turn the place you live. Wow, look at this silver joint, yo. Look at this joint. You know, I be rocking in that neon thing. Silver thing, sweet though. Look at this. Got the silver joint. Never saw that. Pardon me, y'all. You know I be loving V's. This thing's sexy right there. Okay, say it over and slower, brother. That's from Charles L. Howard. All right. So let's do it like this. So walk with me. You're going to get a trust. Of course, you can get your trust through us, or you can pay thousands of dollars through an attorney. But no matter what, just get it done. And if you need a trust funded, and you just getting off the ground, they're going to tell you they're not dealing with no trust funding, no trust funds unless you have at least a minimum $50,000 you're going to fund the trust with. Which again, many are not in that position to do so. Know what I suggested in particular. So they got to assign a fund manager to you to make a larger percentage of your own earnings than you. But that's a whole nother conversation. But if you're interested in getting a trust set up, again, you can go to us. You want mentorship, which also comes with the trust, which is more ideal. You can also contact me at brotherpolight45@gmail.com. brotherpolight45@gmail.com. Always leave your full name and your phone number. Always leave your full name and your phone number. Aside from that, consultations, $200 an hour, $300 in person. Just go to brotherpolight45@gmail.com and always leave your full name and phone number. Spell brother the right way, BROTHER, Polight, POLIGHT 45@gmail.com. All right. What up, bro? Glad you in here. That's what's up. So what you're gonna do? Take a Little breather. Sweating a little bit. Hey, what's up, King? Thanks for listening. You already know I'm out here live teaching now. All right, my brother. Word up. Man, took a stop. Traffic saying what's up. You know how to do almost every stream, you see that. Yeah. All right, where are we? We're going to get back to this. We're going to get back to this. You know, walk with me. Literally, walk with me. You know, I just like to exercise. Walking is real good. I'm going to tell you why walking is good. Not to digress, but let's get into that. The reason why you want to do some walking instead of being on a treadmill, because it throws off your proprioception. The proprioception is the very reason why when you're on the treadmill, your mind, when you're walking, the presumption is the landscape should change while you're walking. So you see this whole time while I've been walking, you keep seeing the background change. You keep seeing different landmarks, different buildings, different vehicles. See traffic moving, birds flying. Okay, you see that which is in conformity with the direction I'm going in, and you see that which contrasts, that which is in opposed to the direction I'm going in. So you got traffic going the same direction I'm walking in. It's moving faster than me. Sometimes it stops. I'm moving faster than it because it's at a standstill at the light. And then you see the same thing going on in the opposite direction. When you're on a treadmill, the reason why when you get off the treadmill after doing your walk or your run, you get dizzy when you get off the treadmill. And the reason why you get dizzy when you get off the treadmill, because your body's proprioception has been compromised. It's not really healthy. So what the body starts doing is shutting down some of your cognitive abilities, because your body has an anticipation for landscapes to change while you're in motion. And when you're on a treadmill, you're telling your body to shut down some of its cognitive abilities, okay, in order for you to accomplish the walking task. So instead of other muscles being engaged for the purposes of your ability to balance yourself, muscles are being turned off, and there's only a point of focus for like your calf area and maybe your quadriceps, and then your compensation behind your knee, as opposed to way more muscles being activated because of the change in landscape. So your body has to make sure it can perfectly balance you. So you fall, when you get off the treadmill, you're a little off balance because your body shut down certain muscles. So what good is it to do an exercise if muscles are going to be shut off while you're doing the exercise? And these muscles are valuable because it deals with your cognitive ability that brings about balance. And just like if you're in the water for too long and too much water goes inside your ear, balance is inside of your ear. So too much water goes inside your ear, when you're in the water, you won't be able to tell north from south. You need your cognitive ability, especially when it comes to balance. And this is called proprioception. But that's a whole nother conversation. Just came to mind while I stopped. So the best thing you could do is actually walk instead of hit the treadmill. I'm not saying you can't benefit from the treadmill. You won't benefit and get optimal results that you can get from actually taking over. Just think about it. People would rather walk 3 miles on the treadmill, but then if you tell them walk 3 miles outside amongst planet Earth, amongst its residents, amongst the trees, nah, man, it's a long walk. Man, just walk a mile and a half up, a mile and a half back. But people would rather do it on a machine. I'm going to tell you why. Because it actually takes more muscles to walk naturally than on a treadmill. So that's why it's a part of your body signaling, no, hit the treadmill because we could do less. Now, you may think walking is just walking, but like I said, when the landscape ain't changing, your body starts shutting down muscles. It's called proprioception. Knowledge, man. Knowledge. Gotta love it. It's the difference. It's the game changer. It's our savior. Knowledge. Gotta love it, yo. I need to see who got this coconut. But anyway. Okay. All right. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm just reading some of the comments. Make sure I don't miss anything, or I could speak to something that has been asked without stopping the whole session. But yeah, so now we're back to the trust. Because brother said, say it again, say it a little slower. So instead of saying, this is my home, this is where I live, you're suggesting when you say, this is my home, this is where I live, you're actually suggesting that you have no intentions on really being an entrepreneur. You have nothing else actually going for you. So, I mean, if you have a home, you should have several domestic dwellings. Because you should, if you have a home, you should have several corporate dwellings. Because you should never have a home before you have a corporate dwelling. It makes sense that you should have to live where you generate revenue before you actually invest in an expense called a home. Because a home is a place that you don't work at. A home is a place that doesn't make you money. Technically, it's not there as an investment for you to make money. People are like, yo, buy a house because it's an investment, because once you own it, then, you know, maybe you can sell it back, and, you know, all that crazy crap that they teach you in school. Home is a liability. Anything that's going to take you 30 years to pay it off is a damn liability. I don't care about the promise of if you do pay the whole thing off in 30 years or less. Nah, that ain't happened yet. A 30-year debt ain't no damn good for nobody. So let's just be for real. And I don't care if you got a loan modification and it's down to 15 years. 15-year debt ain't no good for nobody. If you got to take 30 years to pay something off, you shouldn't be paying for it in the first place. Now, on the other end, if this is no longer a home, or no longer a domestic dwelling, but it is a corporate dwelling, because this is your office space, and this office just happens to have a bedroom, a living room, and kitchen, because you need to be comfortable, because you're going to be there for a while, because this is your base. Because when you leave that place, you go out there to generate revenue to fund the business endeavor, and that just happens to be the location for your business. And you got the right to shower at your place of business, sleep at your place of business, cook food at your place of business. You have the right to do that. So instead of you saying you have a home, say you have a corporate dwelling. Get you a trust and put the house under your trust, or pay your rent by way of your trust. Get a cashier's check and pay your rent by way of your trust. Name your trust after yourself, at least your first trust. Name it after yourself. At the very least, if you got another name for it, put your last name in there somewhere and suffix it to it. So if your name is Jamel McGee, name it Jamel McGee Irrevocable Trust, or name it Real Estate McGee Irrevocable Trust. Put your name in there. But it's really cool tax-wise when you got your full name there on your company. Only thing is, it's you, but it's in all caps. There's a reason for that. That's another conversation. So instead of saying you live somewhere and that's your home and making it a domestic dwelling, make it a corporate dwelling so you can write off your rent checks or write off your mortgage. Secondly, call the light bill. Call the light company. Call the gas company and tell them that you need your utilities under your business name. Your business is, because where you're living, that's your office. So these bills shouldn't be coming to you directly. It should be going to your creditor, which is your trust. And now you're going to get tax subsidy for your bills. So now you can minimize the expense that comes in the form of your bills. So yes, your bills are going to be cheaper now. Your light bill is going to be cheaper. Your gas bill is going to be cheaper. Oh, you need internet. Well, this is my office. Of course I need internet for my office. So you may be saying, how come I can get things cheaper if I put it in my business as opposed to my name? Because when you just have it in your name, you're just a liability, because you're just doing stuff for play. It's just fun. Or I just want this house because I always wanted to say I have my own home. You know, because I was living with my mom, she was treating me funny, so now I got my own crib. I couldn't wait to put it in my name. But when you learn about wealth building, you learn to control everything, own nothing. Control everything, own nothing. That's what you learn. That's what I teach. First, you want everything in your name. Then you find out that that was stupid. You find out that wasn't the most intelligible decision you can make. Actually, what you want to do is control everything, own nothing. You don't want your car in your name. Put it in your company's name. Why you want your car in your company's name? So you can write off the gas and you can write off the tolls, because you're using this vehicle to travel from your office that used to be formerly known as your home, the place formerly known as your home, but now you've been corrected. When you drive from your corporate dwelling to the place where you make money, that car now, you're moving off the legis of the members of your company, be they one or many. So that car now is part of your investment vehicle. Literally, it's a vehicle that's helping you with your investment, helping you with your future gains. So guess what? The reason why concessions are made to people that have businesses is because people that have businesses, provided they're successful, are able to employ other people. And if you put yourself in a position where you're able to employ other people will be able to get student loan debt, mortgage, debt, car notes, debt, credit card, debt. This is a debt wealth society. So if I create a plantation of my own where I can hire other people and other people could be my employees, then guess what? I can get tax concessions for that, or tax subsidy. Why? It can be subsidized. Why can taxes be subsidized? Because they know I'm creating opportunities for other people to be employed. I'm no longer a liability. If I create an opportunity for other people to have to wind up paying taxes, then guess what? We need to take care of him, because this guy is making sure other people can stimulate the economy. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to cut this guy's water bill. We're going to cut his light bill. We're going to cut his gas bill. We're going to cut his internet bill. We're going to cut his mortgage. We're going to cut his rent. We're going to cut his gas, cut his toll, cut his airline tickets, cut his restaurant bill, cut his print and paper fee, printer fee, clothes fee, because I had to buy these clothes to show up for business, whatever that business may be. Okay? So in fact, I'm a wealth coach. I got a company for wealth coaching. So when I buy the Lamborghini and I get it for cheaper after I purchase it and I write it off, this Lambo is part of my marketing strategy to show and prove that I have wealth. So I shouldn't be paying the same amount of money that other people pay for their Lamborghini, because my Lambo is part of my business, because it's part of my demonstration. Other people's Lamborghini is just for luxury. I didn't buy my fancy cars for no luxury. I bought my fancy cars for my business, my marketing strategy. So I shouldn't have to pay the full $230,000. When I go to the basketball game, I ain't at the basketball game with my celebrity friends just because I like to watch millionaires run up and down the court and make more millions, or qualify to make more millions than they already making. No, I'm sitting there because the people I'm doing business with happen to like basketball, and I'm warming them up to the business dinner that's to come after the basketball engagement. So after we've fellowshipped at the basketball game, we could perhaps close a deal at dinner. So after we fellowshipped at the basketball game, we could perhaps close the deal at dinner. So you know what? I need to write off. I paid $8,000 for those tickets. I need to get back $6,500 because I did that in the name of business. All these other people out here, they just doing it because they like the sport of basketball. I'm doing it because this is part of my marketing strategy. This is part of my demonstration towards my business to get someone to buy into what I got to offer. Y'all walking with me? Please don't erase this live. I hear you. That's what's up, Jennifer Mitchell. So I'm just talking with you. Everything, it's about the conversation. Everything could be about your business. I'm visiting family in Florida, but there's a possibility I may still be looking for real estate out there. But with me, there's no possibility. I'm going to see to it that I go to some seminar out there, or I take a look with some realtor, and I'm going to have the receipts to show and prove that when I travel, I do make a concerted effort to see if I could grow my business in some shape, form, or fashion. And if that be the case, then when I get on that flight, even though I am going to see my family out there, when I get on that flight and I pay for that hotel and I pay for the car rental and I pay for the gas and I pay for dinner, all of that has to be written off because I'm here on business pretense. That's why I'm here. I'm here on business pretense. Then comes everything else. Business is the priority. And so long as business is my priority and it's written in the narrative, you get you a dope CPA. But even in the beginnings, you can create the narrative yourself. As you become more successful and you find yourself in a different tax bracket, you hire somebody who got an amazing word game to articulate at best why you're spending in the manner in which you're spending. But I'm gonna tell you this: it's very little that I do that has nothing to do with my business. I'm always looking to write something off. And so the moral of the story is, many people spend, like the person who earns $45,000 a year, why are they not getting back 20 grand or more? I'll tell you why they're not getting back 20 grand. The person who's earning $45,000 a year told me, I'm living check to check and I ain't really got much. They're cheating themselves out of $20,000 plus by not establishing the fact that their home is no longer a domestic dwelling but a corporate dwelling, and affixing or assigning all their utilities and associated bills with it, and their groceries and their cabs and their gas. They're losing. So you got some people on planet Earth making money for spending money, and then you got other people on planet Earth making no money from them spending money. I'm talking about making money from spending money. So even the broke man, oh man, I ain't got no money. Why don't you set up a trust since you got no money? So when the end of the year coming, I know telling somebody you got to wait a year, telling somebody you got to wait 9 months, that's annoying, because I know people don't want to wait no 9 months to see them make some money. But guess what? Next year coming, you'll be in the same situation next year. And what you going to say for yourself next year? Damn, I need to get something started, man. You in the same position you in next year. Next year always comes that quick when you ain't making no money. It's slow because you're making no money, and it's very fast because you're making no money. That's the paradox. It's slow because you got nothing going on for you. It's fast because here it is another year, I still got nothing going for me. So why not just put the work in now, invest in getting your trust or mentorship or consulting. Either get your consulting, get your mentorship, or get your trust. Do one of the above, or just further the information that I'm sharing without me, but just continue to study, research, and go where you got to go to get it. But change your situation up, change your life. You keep saying, yo, I need change. I need to bring about change, or I'm tired of living like that. Well, you're watching this stream on purpose, whether it's to further work alongside me or work with someone else. You said these things, and now this stream popped up, and you're watching it. And that's why I'm telling you, share it, because you never know who else is going through what you're going through or sharing the same sentiment. Let them also be empowered with the information as well. Let them suddenly see a video pop up, and hopefully their spirit say, let me press play. Oh man, this ain't that regular or this traditional pro-black fanatical, kill the white man, put your boots on his neck. Brothers and sisters, we gotta arm ourselves or harm ourselves, and I'm telling you, it's time to put our boots on this cracker's neck and all this other stuff. And you know, whoever's saying that probably got a squeaky clean prison record, probably worked for the damn juvenile detention facility or prisons anyway. And I'm not knocking you if that's how you have to earn your living. I'm just saying, man, the people inspiring us or provoking us to do that kind of chaos, they ain't about that life, because they wouldn't be able to speak that freely about it, because people would take them serious because of the merit of their actions. Facts. All facts.
Hello?
How you doing?
Only this?
Yeah, I need 2 of them. Not only that, only these 2. Need these 2. I don't want none of that. Just want this. Can you cut it open for me?
Yeah.
Both of them.
Oh, cotton, right?
Yeah, please. Here you go. Get it in. Yeah, but we don't want none of that. None of that. How you gonna think straight? But the blessing is being in Cali, you can actually get you some coconuts. My goodness. It's such a miracle plant, the coconut tree, man. Everything that it throws away is exactly what we need, man. It's made up of trace minerals and electrolytes. And the trace minerals, man, it's trace because it's hard to find it and get it from sources on planet Earth, other than the fact that it must be created within your body through exposure from the environment. And normal, in most cases, that's talking about the sun or certain types of air. Thank you. Ooh, I need that. And get a spoon with it so I can eat the jelly. Yeah, make sure you always, when you send the email, leave your full name, phone number. Leave your full name and your phone number. I'm about to go in on this coconut, man. I'm about to go in. I need to eat. This is food for me right here. After that walk, take me 2 coconuts. I drink 4 to 6 of them a day. Keeps me in optimal health. Yeah, I know. When I was clearing my throat those times, because I had to be in environments around cigarettes. I'm allergic to cigarettes. But you know, I ain't entitled to have a nose run even in the coldest weather, even if my body ain't designed to be in cold weather, which is why I moved away. One of the main reasons. And smoking environments, particularly Las Vegas, man. When I go to Las Vegas, you can just smoke anywhere. And when I inhale that crap, man, I could really shut down. I go through it. If I wasn't on this path, I'd damn near die being around cigarettes, man. Because I'm allergic to it. And when it does, it just inflammates me, causes me to get all congested, and I got to keep clearing my throat. But sometimes my business demands that I got to be around. I got to be in Las Vegas. I just came from Las Vegas yesterday. I got to be in Las Vegas because I do a lot of recording there because I manage artists. But I've been in Miami for a very long time, mostly traveling back and forth.
So it's okay?
What's that?
Open.
Yeah, I want it open.
You want to open, right?
Yeah.
You for here right now, you're eating right
I'm
now.
gonna do it right here. Yeah, you don't gotta wrap it.
How about this one also, right?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, already open, okay?
Okay.
Be careful, okay?
Yes, sir. We about to do this. Thanks a lot. That's what I'm talking about. Give me your hand. You know what? I want to be as close to outside as possible. Thank you. Get me a straw. And you got tissue here? Thank you. Oh, yeah, I say, oh. Okay, let's get it in. We're gonna finish up this work. Whew. I did work up a sweat, but I worked up a natural sweat. How about that? Coconut water, man. And when I'm done with this, I'm gonna eat the jelly. Yep, I'm gonna eat this jelly all around here and inside. Scoop it out. I'm gonna share the email right now, actually, and I'm gonna pin it. Oh shoot, okay. Oh, you know what? Dang. Let me see. Okay, now I pinned the comment. Whew. Real sweat, man. Feels good. Get the toxins out. Feels real good. It's all about getting these toxins out. And this is the real Gatorade, the original Gatorade. To get your electrolytes. Right up. Man, if you could at least drink 2 of these a day, you good money. Straight out the coconut though, not that plastic bottle stuff. You can find a glass bottle, that's pretty good. That gets you close to the truth. But what's ideal is that you drink it straight out the coconut. Okay. Yeah, that. Nice walk, man. Y'all don't realize when I'm walking through the hills, man, or walking up and down hills, you don't see the landscape be changing. Yeah, man. Set up one trusted preference. You can do multiple things with the trust. This is just another session for you to learn about trust. Just another session. Yeah. Coconut water is what you're attempting to get out of a vitamin water. Minus all the fructose, corn syrup, sugars, which defeat the purpose. Because then the sugar gonna make you crash, and the whole reason you want it is for the electrolytes to bring you up, like the magnesium and calcium, potassium, so forth and so on. You know, the human body's electric. You want to have those electrolytes. Coconut tree is so amazing. It takes everything it needs from the waters, absorbs whatever water it can find in the atmosphere nearby, pulls it in, and then says, well, I don't want the water, I just want certain minerals and everything from the environment, and it filters everything it doesn't want inside of the coconut. And the relationship humans have with trees, normally if we don't want it, they need it, and if they don't want it, we need it. And certainly enough, man, the miracle drink is inside of here, coconut. Definitely need that magnesium, man, for your emotions. That's why Haitian mangoes are so good. It's good to eat it in the evening. Get you wake up better in the morning. They're in season right now too. You need an OD and pick those up, Haitian mangoes. Especially on the East Coast, it's easier to get. Especially if you're in New York. You go right to the fruit and vegetable stand and get that. Particularly in Brooklyn. Word. Whew. Man, what a great walk, man. Gotta do it on the way back too. Yo, I'll be walking. I like to do 10 miles, 10-mile stroll, or I do one straight 15-mile walk, and then I'll probably drive back. I have the car parked somewhere, leave it in the night, walk 15 miles out, and tell myself to walk to the car the following day. And what I'll do, I'll stream, or I'll be mentoring somebody, or I'll be consulting them while I'm walking. Then it gets me through the walk, so at least I'm not depriving my body of a natural exercise. Well, you know, we're supposed to be in the woods, we're supposed to be barefoot, walking on the ground. So I do my best to simulate the best type of activity for my body so I don't get too lost in the sauce with the city living. That's why I like Miami. The beaches is always there, the beach culture. So I got a condo out there in Miami. We've been making some good money off the condo. Victoria and I, we just do some work out there. We make it happen. We work out there, make it happen. Because if you don't live where you work, we work where we live. Remember that. You know, even though people call it vacation every time they see me somewhere, no, I'm working. And that's my domestic dwelling in Miami. That's my office in Miami when I'm out there. Got an office in Miami, and got an office here in LA. Got an office in Las Vegas. Real nice office in Las Vegas. Woo! Barely got a home. Yeah, family. So I'm about to call this a wrap. Get ready for my walk back. I tell you what though, if you serious about getting a consultation or mentorship or setting up a trust, if you're serious, send your full name, your phone number, we'll make something happen. I'll make those calls on my walk back. I'll make those calls on the walk back. But I hope y'all got the gist of what I was saying for this conversation today. I always want to just contribute some ideas that may not be as popularly expressed or shared in the community that I think will actually provide for a better living for our brothers and sisters. Oh, sorry. Let's see if I can keep building with y'all. We Gucci now. That's how that looks. Probably can't see it because it's white on white. But gotta do this. This mixed with good coconut milk too. My goodness. Blend this thing in with the coconut water and blend it. It's naturally sweet. Coconut milk right there. You can put a little stevia in it if you want, or maple syrup, gravy. Man, this thing is good. Consultations are $200 an hour or $300 in person. Upon transaction, we confirm the date and the time, and I'll send you some questions so that we don't have to go through that introductory phase during the actual consultation. That's to your benefit, so you can get more for your money. Right. Consultations don't pay like the mentorship where you make money during the program. Consultation just gives you vision, direction, and what to do to execute, and you take it from there. The trust is ideal to get this stuff done because it has more benefits. You're also able to protect your assets. You're also able to make it equitable by retitling properties and incomes per the jobs associated with those revenue streams, and then taking that value and assigning it to an insurance policy in which you could win or generate revenue from the death benefit, and therefore you could compound interest in retrospect to the death benefit by assigning the trust to it. Pardon me, I know I'm a little distracted with this coconut. Yes, I do. IRS and all of that. You just gotta email them. You can get a fix on prices and things like that. We can get it going. But most times, the only thing stopping it is just consultation. Get a consultation, or like I said, the mentorship to really get it going. To establish yourself, make it 5K month to month, 7K, 10K month to month, and average that and do what you gotta do. It's in Thailand, man. They got coconut trees for miles and miles and miles and miles. And Thai coconuts is crazy good. All right, KT, right? Like, I'll give you the call. Like I said, you paid it, you lock down the fee for the consultation. You confirm the date and the time, and I send you some questions, so I don't have to go through that information in. get it in. Man, coconut was good. And you know the beauty about the coconut, ain't no AC here. The coconut cools you off, man. Got me nice and cool all over again. It's a hot day, but I'm cool. Coconut, man. The miracle juice. It's my favorite water. No better alkaline water than coconut. 4 to 6 a day, you'll be straight. You're talking little to no impurities, man. You can drink 4 to 6 of these a day. I like to do 2 in the morning and 2 in the night, man. If I can help it. And then if I'm like active, like walking around like this, then I just gotta drink more. Now, I know it'd be a little annoying sometimes because I'll go out to dinner and I gotta just put this joint on my table. Then I gotta clean the coconut shavings and stuff. But it's worth it. Shit. Shoot, when I go out to eat, I be bringing my own cayenne pepper, and my own pink salt. Gotta do it. I gotta bring the ingredients to the table that's necessary. My oregano oil if necessary. Really the oregano oil. Most times people got some kind of oregano. It's good for the respiratory system. And because someone like me that's sensitive to smoke, I gotta always have some oregano oil around me. Yeah, I'm very sensitive to that cigarette stuff. So I always gotta have that around me. But it's been great talking to y'all. I gotta get with the next part of my schedule. I'm gonna answer some of those emails. Email now, full name, phone number. I'll be on it. I want to just thank you all for showing the love and listening in. You guys are amazing. Peace. Remember, it's brother POLIGHT45@gmail.com. I actually pinned it to the top of the page. That's my salt and pepper, not that black and white thing. My salt and pepper be red and pink, red and black, or it'd be red, black, and pink, depending on the color salts that I bring. Just email me, Dave Lacey. And that's probably a consultation. You know, when you have questions, you're like, yo, I need to know this and a third. Especially when these streams are out. Just get the consultation and we go hard and we knock it out. All right. Make sure you put your phone number there if you sent the email. Always do that. Peace to the family. I love you again. It's been real. It's been real fun. Actually, I love sharing this information. Whenever I get free time and I'm just doing my walk or whatever, you know, I just got back into town. I'm about to fly out again. Have to make sure I'm here for my baby girl birthday. Tomorrow's Mad's birthday. Look out for her. Fly her out to another country or something. I don't know. But I just came back and had a little free time. So I don't want to miss the opportunity to see if I can share something to inspire people. If I had internet in my era and somebody that would just randomly talk something that I ain't heard before that could be of use or give me some focus, direction, vision, or ambition, man, that's everything, man. Whether you able to do anything right now or not, motivation's everything. It gives you direction. It gives you a point of focus. It gives you a reason to wake up. It gives you, say, you know, you get excited. You say, you know what? Bet I know what I got to do. Okay, structure myself. Let me set up my business first. Let me set up a trust. Now, you know, when I set up this trust, I'm not just going to have an account like people just got the LLC. Yeah, I got a business, I got LLC. Nah, you take it to the next level. And now you know, okay, I got to put my car in this company name. I got to get insurance. I got to assign my trust in insurance. And yeah, there's more learning to go. You can get your consultant with that, do your research, many different things. Buy some books. Of course, the books I write are engineered in such a way that I can cater specifically to the things that I'm talking about. But you good, man. It's just to give people direction at the very least, if nothing else, to give you direction. That's important.
Okay.
Okay, family. Thank you again. Love you so much. Have been amazing. It's always hard to get off. Peace and many blessings to you. Have a prosperous day, and I love you. That's a fact. Peace.